And the second game then between Shadowfax and Skady gonna be played on Water in Hole. Definitely interesting map. And we are on solid old vanilla, not even vanilla rules on hybrid, but solid vanilla, so absolutely no even misclicking into auto queue is gonna be happening here. And Shadowfax is gonna be playing ISIS, so sticking with his Egyptians, which he definitely likes. Whereas Skady is gonna be switching into set, and he is quite a competent set player, but on Titans. On vanilla, it's of course gonna be a whole lot different, because of course you don't get the free mythical unit in the classical age, so let's see how he's gonna be dealing with that. Though of course it also has to be said that Shifting Sands are gonna be having a bit different strength than they are in normal Titans, so let's see how he's gonna be able to deal with that. Another thing, of course, that Egyptians in vanilla, they basically all the time go for faster heroic with 1 TC. Well, obviously you cannot build secondary TC in classical age, so there's no point in even thinking about anything else. So we should be looking at upgrades at about 715, 730, something like that. On a high hand map like this, probably 715 would be expecting, especially from the ISIS, because of course the ISIS does have the cheaper upgrade into the next age, as we are looking in the meantime on the map, which seems to be a whole lot advantageous for Skady. Whole lot advantageous for Skady, because he's having only one access point. It's kind of complicated one. You can see if he actually wants to wall this, he will have to go all the way from here. Oh well, it's kind of sucky in the end. So he'll probably go next through tower, I would expect. Then somehow around the gold and all the way there. So it's not gonna be easy for him to somehow like control it altogether. So it might be really difficult if actually it's gonna be played by Shadowfax properly. Whereas Shadowfax, he has to place a lot of small walls about here, there, and of course at the bottom as well, which might be opening him for some kind of little abuse in there. Or also it could be a bit of an advantage, because at this point, looking at all of this, Shadowfax aka NoMercy is probably gonna be having a bit easier time, like mounting some kind of sneak from about here maybe, like build a dock and transport yourself all the way in there. That could be really dangerous for Skady. And of course it could be also happening from the other side, from the top side all the way to the bottom. Or yeah, well, if actually Shadowfax is gonna be coming through the left side rather through the right. Hello Versen, welcome to the stream. Hope you're gonna be enjoying as well. As you're gonna be also looking that basically the gold is gonna be similar for both. Both Shadowfax and Skady are gonna be having front gold, so they are having kind of similar situation in that. But there is certainly a difference in secondary big gold mine being in Skady's base, like literally in it, which basically means that he doesn't have to walk anywhere all that much. He just needs to stick to this position. And looking overall at the spot, all he needs to do is wall there, wall here, and he's gonna be having extra 2 gold mines all the top side, with plenty of hunt, plenty of everything. So it's kinda, this map does have something going for Skady, and something also knows. So basically the middle is really problematic for him to wall, but otherwise the map is not really that tragic for Egyptian. Secondary TC of course gonna be helping. He'll probably have to cut through all of those woods if he does want to be having some kind of significantly normal trade route all the way to here from the top side. So yeah, there is definitely some kind of thought that he will have to give to all of his gameplay. As basically similar is going for Shadowfax, but he doesn't have that all that bad. Even if he actually goes through trade to this TC from all the way to the top, the trade cards will be, or the caravans will be coming through like the middle, which is not exactly super, rather top efficiency. You can see it's already gonna be cutting through the left side, so maybe working on it, but it's not really that tragic as what potentially is waiting for the opponent. You can see Giraffes inside with the piggy coming back, as he does have plenty of gold mines as well, as even though they are not exactly in the base as for the red player, like literally in the base, they are fairly close by and kinda safe as well. So if he actually plays it properly, walls properly in the early game, he should be reasonably fine as well on that regard. What is fairly interesting is the middle of the map, with the TC in there, because you can see this is Shadowfax's front. It's very far away, basically literally in the middle of the map, like this is the middle of the map somewhere here. So it's like a few centimeters away from it, as he's trying to convert a few rhinos for, well, I'm thinking not necessarily an army, maybe just for food. We're gonna see a bit later if he's gonna be using Shifting Sands for something or not. Because as I said, the efficiency is quite a bit different in vanilla than it is in Titans, especially on the balance patch. Okay, so temple is down, we are at about 4 minutes. Kinda reasonable timing, especially if you're gonna be advancing at about those 7:15 as you were expecting for the faster heroic. As well, in the meantime, he does have better TC of course than his opponent, and if he does somehow capture it in the early heroic age, then it could be really going a long way in somehow protecting his base. It's of course wide open, and it's gonna be continuing to be so for the rest of the game pretty much. Alright, so there we go. There's gonna be Relic, Guitar of Apollo, which is actually what? Better villager speed. That's good. That's actually quite nice. Similar to more or less Husbandry, as we were talking about it last stream. It does have kinda, in a way, similar effect. For example, this could be also helpful for farming a bit in there and for all kinds of gathering, of course. As the second relic is gonna be coming here, and that is gonna be Grugnir, Odin's Spear. For better spearman hack attack. Not bad. Could be helping against camels and of course against elephants as well. As we are looking at shifting sands. Right now I need to switch into Skady's point of view because I kinda want to see where he casted. He definitely casted here. Or not, Viola. Pogo 4, he casted at the bottom. The was pretty good guess. Pretty good guess indeed. As he's gonna be dropping right on top of his opponent. But I'm thinking he actually might have done it a bit, or rather the other way around. As might have been a bit more efficient, but right now he's at least forcing his opponent off the hunt and might be slowing down his faster heroic. So that's kind of why you do this. As I said, because you're gonna be coming for the faster heroic as well. You can see armor being dropped. As this is gonna be kind of screwing your opponent over. As Skady is on the way, of course, with the resources there. Whereas Shadowfax is right now gonna be slowed down as he just now is advancing into the classical age through Bust. And let's see how much he's gonna be actually screwed up by this gameplay as the villagers are coming back. Gonna be having, of course, plenty of gazelles and also a bit later a lot of rhinos. He's hoping he's gonna be able to stay there for a bit longer. Okay, so already finishing with very important walling because he's recognizing the hunt here and the gold, and overall this is a really pretty good spot for him. So that's why he actually wants to stay there, and this obelisk is very important because not only does he see... Oh no, the other one. Not only does he actually see that there is a water cutting him off, but he also will be seeing potentially the radiant that might be coming through some kind of landing that might be attempted by Skady a bit later. So there we go, of course, a lot of priests and everything like that. Killing all the animals here for Shadowfax, so he's gonna be reasonably safe at this point. But he did, of course, already slow his opponent down, trying to blind him as well in the process. And well, you can see exactly as we expected, the Rhino was coming back to his base for a bit of food, so that he can be having quite nice upgrade time into the heroic. So Skady, well, still working on getting the resources, especially the food. Needs to be quite delayed at this point. Quite delayed indeed, as they are struggling to get into some kind of solid timing into the heroic age. So they are having a bit different builds than for the fastest 715. Slightly really curious about it, why that is the case. But anyway, he does have right now the armor. He's gonna be having getting even more food, but he's not really gathering all that much food altogether. Yeah, I kinda think he actually might have a bit screwed up his build order. Because this is really gonna be already pretty late. He is making villages, of course, that's obvious. But really, you want to advance really fast. Really fast, sub 8 minutes, and that right now is not gonna be possible at all. As it means that at this point, the Shadowfax, even though he's gonna be slowed down, of course, through the Radiant, he might not really be that far behind as he potentially could have been. So it's slightly confusing at this point why they chose these kinds of build orders. But anyway, well, of course, right now the slowdown is gonna be there. Shadowfax already recognizing that he needs to hurry up a bit. That he's potentially gonna be having enough resources for the advance a whole lot sooner than he would be finishing with the armory. But at this point, it seems he's gonna be timing it right proper. Yeah, like really right proper. Come on, send them back. He's gonna be advancing just now, clicking in, right? Yes, there we go. Nephthys is gonna be coming for him. And that is, of course, quite understandable. That's gonna be the same for Skady, as he is right now advancing through Nephthys as well. And even a bit faster than Shadowfax. But yet again, I kinda cannot help feeling that he should have been advancing like at least a minute ago. A minute ago, especially considering that he slowed Shadowfax down so significantly in that. But anyway, let's see if it's gonna be still good enough for him. Or if Shadowfax is gonna be right now some kind of better idea what to do. So far, nothing really going on all around. Just a lot of scouting from the blue player. So that he sees everything across the map, which is actually nicely done. Let's see what it allows him. Yeah, quite good vision. And this is actually a very important one, because this will give him line of sight when the opponent is coming for the back gold here. And much more importantly, when he's gonna be starting with the trade. Because when the trade is coming on, no matter that Shadowfax doesn't know where the second TC is, he basically knows that it's gonna be coming either to here or from here. So he really kinda knows. He's gonna know when the opponent is gonna be getting ready for something like that. And when he, for example, needs to go for a bit of raiding. Okay, so sorry, Fog of War off. Fog of War off, as apparently Skady is gonna be attempting to basically steal all the rhinos. Well, I don't think the Shadowfax actually minds all that much. This is gonna be very aggressive Migdol. Very aggressive Migdol indeed. You can see that Skady is going for basically the same, even though he's not gonna be getting any kind of significant map control through that. He's just basically gonna be controlling this way inside his base, so that is some kind of value. But maybe you would be thinking it might be slightly better to come right next to the TC, but he's probably thinking ahead and basically realizing and thinking that if he actually controls this way inside his base through the Migdol and then comfortably gets the TC, he's gonna be fine on both fronts, but it is slightly risky. As of course this Shadowfax's Migdol does have a solid idea behind it, as he is gonna be of course protecting this gold mine and this one, and also kinda the TC in there, so that's overall pretty solid placement of the Migdol and definitely makes sense. And since he advanced at reasonably similar time to his opponent, he didn't have to worry about any kind of raiding all that much during the building time, and that's the reason why he wasn't afraid to go with the forward Migdol. Alright, so it's gonna be a third TC, or rather second TC for him, right there. He's also kinda nicely attempting to wall himself in around this base TC, kinda makes sense for him of course. Already he is safe from any kind of raiding, it's definitely gonna be coming. So TC is there, and this is gonna be significantly important of course for the game, as this is gonna be allowing him to fall back to something, and much more importantly to produce mercenaries from basically middle of the map into the majority of it. There's gonna be a battlefield a bit later, and right about now, right next to the Migdol, and potentially next to the TC as well. There will be like in a whole lot more if actually Shadowfax was controlling the TC a whole lot, because of course that's gonna be the potential strong point for him, as he does have better options how to actually guard it and make sure that it's gonna be as hard as possible for Skady to take it, and maybe even force him into using the Ancestors for himself. It's also gonna be interesting the Ancestors fight, as of course if Skady casts them first with the Eclipse, and they're gonna be really good, but it also kinda makes you think if it's even worthwhile for Shadowfax to try to guess it with his own Ancestors, if he's gonna be fighting against a stronger one, so his ones, or rather so his Ancestors are not really gonna be that useful in there. Maybe he just wants to use them at a bit different time. Lure Skady into using his, and then basically use the blue Ancestors a bit later in some kind of better engagement. Maybe some kind of idea. I'm really expecting the Ancestors from Skady might be giving him the TC at the top side. Let's see if it's gonna be the case, or if it's gonna be coming for full-on battle here, as we are looking at Ancestors and Eclipse coming forward right now for Shadowfax. Yes, right now, figured that I was talking about the Ancestors a bit the other way around. Yeah, slightly confused who is actually having the Eclipse and who isn't. But in the end, it doesn't really matter. It's still the same situation. As right now, of course, Shadowfax is gonna be getting the advantage through that, and Skady will have to wait for a bit better moment for his own Ancestors. So let's see if he's gonna be able to even survive that, because right now the attack is gonna be quite strong. He does lose the siege tower fairly soon before even getting into the fight in that, but he does have also still plenty of elephants right now, Shadowfax, and those are quite solid to get rid of the siege towers and maybe even help against the Migdol, because they are gonna be quite solid tanks, and you can see that the mercenaries are definitely there. This is still not being gathered by Skady in here, so it seems that the attack is not really gonna be working all that much, as apparently those priests from Skady and all the extra units were able to deal with all the Ancestors just in time, without them dealing any kind of significant problem, or had there been any significant problem. So last 8 seconds of the Eclipse denying the Ancestors, but I don't think that actually right now Skady needs to recast them in kind. I think he's actually doing really well, especially looking at all of those priests. It wouldn't really be making all that much of a sense in that. Oh yeah, he definitely can wait. He can definitely wait, but he still has to be worried about the TC in there. You can see Shadowfax's economy not bad. Another working for Skady, it's not bad either, but he is very low on pop. 82. Shadowfax is basically having 20 population more. That's actually quite a bit. That's quite a bit indeed, and that is something that is maybe a bit surprising. I'm not entirely certain where the difference is. You can see the army is not that huge, because the elephants are gonna be having a bit more pop cost, but otherwise... Is he having better boom? Well, he can be it. Can easily be it, because Skady is still at just 1 TC. He hasn't even gathered the back TC, so it can definitely be that kind of case, as the third TC is already coming for Shadowfax, and to be honest, It's looking a whole lot better for the blue player, because he does have the economy and the military at both, rather both at the same time. And as you can see, that Skady doesn't have anything really all that much on the economical side. He's having literally only the army at this point from the 1TC, as right now he's gonna be attempting the settlement, and that's gonna be the time when his ancestors are gonna be coming quite handy. Though against all of those priests, that's gonna be taking a lot of micro in with the chariots and maybe even some more units in there to get rid of them, single them out, and through that way, making them of course a bit more count. You can see Shadowfax right now exactly going for a bit of scouting to see if maybe he needs to go for the TC. Right now we figured that he rather should be, as the army is already there, gonna be seen right now exactly TC being under construction, and he is too late. Yep, Pharaoh was there, and he finished just in time. So this is of course right now not exactly what should have happened for Shadowfax. He just wasn't paying enough attention. That was definitely a mistake, not really scouting the TC a whole lot more, because he certainly could have stopped that. Absolutely certainly, as funeral rites and plow is coming forward for him. But for the opponent, we see heavy chariots in there. That's a very nice upgrade. Gonna be making a bit of a difference, of course, in the battles, because yeah, there are no upgrades whatsoever for the opponent, and that is, of course, any kind of advantage, resulting into even more of an advantage, of course. Yep, definitely as we expected, Ancestor's gonna be coming into the battle, and right now exactly Skady what he needs to do, he just needs to single out all the priests, which he's exactly right now trying to do. You can see he was targeting them on purpose. It was very nicely done, and that is gonna be of course resulting into all those Ancestors helping quite significantly get rid of the elephants, siege towers and everything, and probably still having plenty of life left to go into the TC assault. Yeah, certainly, absolutely certainly, you can see that most of them are still alive. Still alive, coming forward, and let's see if it's gonna be really enough to still take it down. He does have half a minute left. That seems quite solid and good, but he also mustn't forget about this little surprise on the right side. It was sneaky. That was sneaky from Shadowfax. You can see half hit points dead from the Migdol, and if he doesn't repair that, that could be actually susceptible to some kind of extra raiding like that again. So yeah, you can see mercenaries are gonna be forced as last 10 seconds for the Ancestors, so they definitely need to right now destroy as much as they can. They are gonna be dying fairly soonish, and it's of course gonna be resulting into maybe a break of the attack, but still that's solid army. And if he could produce a few more siege towers, as he exactly is, and even send in some mercenaries into the battle, then this is still on. This is still very much on, and you can see Shadowfax is having problems spamming mercenaries. He doesn't really have gold enough for that. What is the reason for that? Is he missing some upgrades? Oh, he does have shaft mine. His opponent is having shaft mine as well. Well, maybe he's gonna be running out of gold though. Well, apparently not. 1700 still left in there. So this is actually very nicely done by Skady. Very well played. He's gonna be taking down the TC. It seems like there's not gonna be anything stopping it just now. Yeah, that's gonna be just last hit from one of the siege towers. So TC is down. So very well played. Though it still results into just a tie in the population limit, because Skady does have only 2 TCs and Shadowfax did have 3. So that means that right now he is quite well done at 2 still, so it's not really all that much of a disaster. Maybe it's gonna be even better, because he's gonna be having easier time popping himself up and maybe getting some better upgrades for himself as opposed to his opponent, because so far of course opponent is having technological advantage through the heavy chariots, and that is something that of course somehow Shadowfax needs to catch up with, as he is attempting through of course copper shields, and that is very nicely done, because that's of course in any kind of fight against chariot archers you just want the copper shields. You always want them, as they make a ton of difference. Okay, so that's well done so far by Skady though. And as he's pushing forward, trying to get rid of the Migdols. There's another Migdol has been built. You can see for Shadowfax he's gonna be right now producing chariots from one and elephants from the second one. So let's see if he's gonna be able to fight this and defend this, much more importantly, as those villages probably could be coming somewhere else. But he's also maybe waiting for some kind of good position for him to go for the TC. As we see a bit of movement on the right, and I was for a moment thinking that he might be coming like sneaking through the bottom to get into the TC, but at the same time why would he need to do that? He can just go straight in. Straight in with, for example, those villagers, take a TC and be happy. And I think he should really attempt that. Does he have enough resources? Not really. Not really, but it would be really going a long way if he could, because I don't think he would be necessarily able to finish it, but he would be distracting units of Shadowfax. They would be having to fight against those villages and against the TC, and it will be allowing, of course, a bit better fights for Skady. So, yeah, well, it's all little things like that could be really going a long way. But anyway, they went only for the deer, and you 5 men, both men, right? The fight is gonna be like S, I hope. And Set's chariots, they do have an advantage. They train faster. Migdal units are cheaper and train faster. Yeah, train faster because they are archers. So you can see minus 20% on the archer trade time. Cheaper Migdal, and of course, that's only Migdal, like the Migdal, not really the units. And then Slinger, HP, and Heck Armor. Those are the bonuses for him. Other bonuses for him. Right now it seems like at this time that NoMercy Shadowfax is actually gonna be having enough pounds and clouds to actually get back into the game. And is it because he's having to make those against one? I think it could be. It certainly is. Yes, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the difference. That because Skady is having only one Migdal, which is... It's really kinda curious, I have to say. Sometimes it's really painfully obvious that only one Migdal is not gonna be enough. And the players just basically stick to just the one Migdal until like it's destroyed or something, and completely refuse to build not only like a secondary Migdal or even just basically barracks to support them. Because at this point I'm really thinking he could be using a few spears against the elephants in there. That would be really helpful quite a bit, especially considering that he's a set and he's having solid infantry. Maybe even the slingers would be a good unit against the priests and against the chariots. But anyway, he opted not to, and right now, of course, the double Migdal is gonna be paying dividends for Shadowfax. As you can see, he's even attempting to move up in the population department with more watchtowers in there, as he's trying to retake the TC. And it seems that he's doing a pretty good job, but he needs to be careful about those Scorpion Men. As Scorpion Men, that is one hell of a good unit. That is a very good unit indeed in there. As well, the chariot archers in here, they are still not getting any kind of extra upgrades as they are destroying the farm in the process. But so aren't, of course, Shadowfax is still having only the copper shield. Only the copper shield here. And he doesn't have all that many priests right now. So while he's actually moving forward right now with NoMercy a bit, he will be probably having problems with those Scorpion Men, as they are usually pretty good. They are basically a staple unit against Hippicons, against Geeks. But against the elephants, they are not gonna be bad either, because they are having solid attack, 25 melee attack, and 50% melee armor is not really half bad. So they are quite solid, and the special attack on them is also quite solid, the poison. And they are definitely using it in full. But seems that actually Skady is not able to push forward anymore, and he's gonna be falling back a bit, as he's having issues producing enough units basically. It's only producing right now the chariot archers a whole lot more than even the Chemos, as the opponent is of course continuing with more spam of the elephants, and of course especially the chariot archers, as apparently he's gonna be moving with another siege workshop here. Or another siege workshop, and even the barracks, because he is recognizing that he could be using some other units, like maybe the spearmen. They are overall pretty solid unit for Egyptian, so basically easily the best from the barracks in there. But anything that would be helping him a bit more, maybe even against the slingers, would be really useful, or rather against the chariots, the slingers would be really useful for him. It seems that this battle in the middle right now going for the TC is gonna be kinda coming for NoMercy yet again. As Skady is in the meantime not still coming for the back TC in there, and he is kinda still having a lot of gold mines. He doesn't even need this one. Still having plenty of them at the very back, so it's not like any kind of problematic situation for him, but oh well, he is gonna be already resigning. And the reason for that is probably gonna be that he figures that he cannot take the TC, or rather stop the TC from coming up. Which I'm not all that certain that he wouldn't be able to do so. Because all he needs to get is one tower there, and the TC is down. And the chariot archers, they're gonna be easily basically taking the laborers down as well. This economy is not really going as well as it could. You can see he's missing Quarry. Shadowfax is coming to Thoth. But he couldn't have known that. He really couldn't have known that, so I'm really guessing that it's gonna be basically the syndrome of one Migdol. Typical one Migdol syndrome for an Egyptian. That just basically doesn't occur to them that they could be building either second Migdol or just any kind of barracks or anything. Just steadfastly refusing to abandon the one Migdol. And of course, the secondary Migdol is exactly the reason why NoMercy is like doing so well. Absolutely no question about that. But yeah, well, that's sometimes those mental traps that players fall into. And to be honest, it's kind of common with Egyptians once they are fast heroic in. Yeah, well, Shadowfax apparently didn't fall into the same trap, so well done. And he's gonna be taking the game number 2 and tying the match at 1-1. Right, so Shadowfax gonna be winning this time everything. But it also has to be said that we are on home turf of Shadowfax. And since we don't have any kind of auto queue, Skady might be out of his element. Because of course, especially as an Atlantean main, it has to be kind of hard for him all of it. So yeah, even something like that could be definitely paying dividends for Shadowfax. Because he basically is much more used to clicking everything in all the time. Whereas Skady might be forgetting, and it might be also behind why he is not able to produce enough units for his battles in there. Yes, Skady the efficiency, you can see 178, units lost 170, but killed only 127. Not really efficient too much. But otherwise the upgrade's almost the same. So you can see he didn't really gain Skady all that much by the Shifting Sense, even though he should have. Should have gained like at least 20 seconds, maybe even half a minute, maybe even more on the advanced time, and somehow just didn't. The build order really didn't seem all that well executed, to be honest. I was having some problems in the incorrect placement of the villages on foot. I'm not sure exactly what went on there, but that's kind of what I saw. Yeah, it was a huge attack of Skady, but it unfortunately didn't do much, and then they were having still like the same amount of units, both of them. So another reason why it seems that it's a bit hasty for Skady. Basically when Shadowfax advanced into Mythic, then I would understand the resign, but before that, well, maybe he noticed the drop in score. Maybe he noticed that. That's possible, because expert players do watch the score, and you can see each advances in there. If the opponent is not trying to mask it, because you can mask it in certain ways. But yeah, well, GG.